Evan Turing said, "Hello, welcome to the stream everyone who's coming in." Evan Turing said, "Make sure to like and sub." Nisa Yagmur. Welcome to my channel. Nisa Yagmur said. Hello. Nisa Yagmur said. Bro PLS add me. Nisa Yagmur said. PLS. Nisa Yagmur said. Name SX Mohammed Pro. Nisa Yagmur said. PLS. Nisa Yagmur said. PLA. Nisa Yagmur said. PLS. Nisa Yagmur said. SX Mohammed Pro. Nisa Yagmur said. No. Nisa Yagmur said. SX Mohammed Pro. James Morales. Welcome to my channel. James Morales said. Hi Evan.
sexo agressivo, vou deixar sua bunda ardendo. Vou dar tapa, 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 tapa.
Toma. Quatro paredes, eu vou acabar contigo. Oi, quatro paredes, eu vou acabar contigo. Oi. Em quatro paredes, eu vou acabar contigo. Oi.
Jaguar said PLS.
Уже грузятся. Вы с сержантом возглавите операцию.
Что за сержант?
Что подходишь?
Ну что, возьмем гаденыша, а? Давай, срочно.
Твою ж мать. Голос на связи? Да, сэр. Есть проблема?
Никак нет.
Да, сэр.
Никак нет.
Вы так уродливы?
Скорее наоборот.
Сомневаюсь. Сейчас бы не отказался.
А я вот виски хочу.
Шотландского?
Я пью бурбон.
Деревенщина.
Видно, обожаю Кентукки.
Evan Turing said, I added you.
I reject your claim based on such a simple grammatical error.
Today we're going to be looking at another one of Electroboom's videos. Specifically a 7 million volt taser stun thingy. And what is this thumbnail? What's with all those zeros? You can start nuclear reactions with 7 megavolts. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tyler Folse. I'm a nuclear engineer with a little over 10 years of experience in the commercial nuclear power industry. From engineering operations to emergency response. I don't claim to know everything there is nuclear, but I can certainly share some knowledge. Let's check out this crazy thing.
Hi, I don't know if you have seen
Durdana
those stun
Abdullaeva.
guns they sell online.
Welcome
I saw
to my
channels
channel.
like Jerry Rig Everything
Durdana
or Unbox
Abdullaeva.
Therapy reviewing this
Said.
yellow jacket stun gun.
PLS friends me name DZDENZZIL. Durdana Abdullaeva said, hello.
I reject your claim based on such a simple grammatical error.
Today we're going to be looking at another one of
I reject your claim based on such a simple grammatical error.
Today we're going to be looking at another one of Electroboom's videos.
Durdana Abdullaeva said, bro PLS 1v1 OK PLS me skill pro shorts. Evan Turing said, join party. Durdana Abdullaeva said, go bro pal yi. Evan Turing said, 1 SEC. Durdana Abdullaeva said, PLLSSSSSSS bro play go bro. Durdana Abdullaeva said, ok.
I was thinking about you when I was watching furry feet.
Durdana Abdullaeva said. What tok K1:0 OK UU wins. Evan Turing said. Nope, I am not watching that.
I paid the news to report brain rot. On the Fiverr website, you can book a news reporter for $50. You can write him a script and he'll say anything. YouTuber from Ohio just mewed baby Gronk. He phantom text my Sigma.
Hi Sinat, level 10 via TikTok Riz party in Ohio with Skibidi Toilet.
My brain is hurting typing this.
YouTuber Nigo is called just hot twat on a gear. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He has level 100 Riz gear. YouTuber from Ohio just mewed baby Gronk in a mock-off. He phantom text my Sigma. This is the craziest news all year, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in next time to see me mewing my Kai Cenat level 10 gear TikTok Riz party in Ohio with Skibidi Toilet.
Money well spent. I paid the news to report brain rot.
Look at my rap sheet. What attracts these people is
My psycho friend is demanding that I give back a couch and a TV that she gave to me over a year ago, claiming that if I don't give it back, she'll call the police on me and have me arrested. But despite the fact that this was literally a gift that she gave to me, I feel like my life and my friend group is falling apart, as this lady is trying to ruin my life by spreading a rumor that I stole from her. And right now, I really don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Last year, I moved into a new apartment and it was unfinished. I went to my friend's house right after receiving my keys to celebrate, and during our conversation, she mentions her extra couch and TV in her garage, and she stated that she would like me to have it. Now, I insisted that I don't take it, and that it was way too much. However, she insisted right back that I take it, and after a few minutes of back and forth, I finally agreed, which, trust me, in hindsight, I really wish that I didn't. The next day comes around, and the moving guy helps load the couch and the TV into his van, and we drive back to my new place and we unload it there. And I thank my friend for giving me this furniture. Well, fast forward, and a few months later, me and this friend got into an altercation, and our friendship ended right there. A few more months passed by, and 2 days ago, she sends a mutual friend between us to speak on her behalf. Her message consisted of her telling me that the moving truck will be there in a few hours, and that I had to give her back the couch and the TV, or else I'm gonna have to pay her for it. And also, as a side note, I've had the furniture for over a year at this point. Well, when I was told this, I told her no, I will not be giving her the furniture or paying her back, because this literally was a gift, and I'm not obligated to return it to her now that she's angry at me from our previous altercation before summer started. And by the way, the altercation itself that happened was because I genuinely needed to cut her off for my own safety. I had many reasons, as well as her being disrespectful towards me and the people that I love. Her reaction after I told her that I wouldn't be giving her the furniture back was to say that she was gonna call the police on me, which is like, okay, but I'm not sure what they're gonna do about that, because honestly, they're probably gonna do nothing. What bothers me now is that she's sending so many people to talk to me on her behalf, to the point where I've been getting calls from no caller ID numbers, and they're accusing me of stealing the furniture. I mean, I'm not sure how I would carry a couch and a TV on my back and go unnoticed, but oh well. What worries me is that our friends that we have in common probably heard from her that I stole her stuff, and I don't really want to go up to each of them and explain myself. I really dislike how the people she sent are urging me to return her stuff so that she can stop bothering me. But here's the dilemma. This person disrespected me, started rumors about me, and is now threatening me. So wouldn't I be weak or submitting by returning a gift that she gave to me over a year ago? But also, if I didn't, I don't know to what more lengths she's willing to go. Personally, I don't view the furniture as hers because I've had it for over a year. And if she had asked me for money back then, I would have given it to her. I think it's unfair that she's demanding I return the stuff or pay her a year later. On the other hand, I do feel guilty. So am I the jerk in this situation for not wanting to give this stuff back? What should I do? No, you're definitely not the jerk at all. This is insane. Your friend is only wanting buying that stuff back because she is pissed off at you. She is literally doing all of this out of spite because you guys got into an argument. And from the sound of it, this doesn't sound like a safe person at all. And you've had this stuff for well over a year. Like seriously, if I own something for over like even 3 months, congratulations, it's mine and you're not getting it back. Especially if it was given to me fair and square. Like your former friend's behavior is absolutely insane. And the fact that she's trying to spin this weird narrative and basically accuse you of stealing from her, like that is so toxic and it honestly just really sucks. And you know what? If other people believe that garbage and they're really gonna sit there and be like, wow, you stole that from her house, then trust me, those are not friends worth keeping. Because you've got it right. You didn't break into her house and take it away from her. She quite literally gave it to you as a gift over a year ago. So for her to want this back in some kind of way, in my opinion, is absolutely insane. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. Am I the jerk for not lending my brother any money after he told me that he could lose his condo if he doesn't pay a fee right away? Because right now he's calling me selfish and saying that I'm the jerk. And at this point, I really don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, so me, my brother, and my sister all inherited money when our father passed away in 2022. Ever since then, my sister has spent all her money. My brother and his wife bought a condo in Florida, which used up all their savings, and I have about $40,000 in my savings. Recently, my brother's building has had unexpected HOA fees pop up that are literally out of their budget, as well as a roof that cost about $6,000 a few months ago, and now it's a $4,500 fee regarding upkeep of the shared parking lot. Typically, I would never disclose my finances even with family, but since he is aware of what we all inherited, he's always been a bit obsessed about asking how much I have left, as well as what my plans are, essentially meaning that he's keeping tabs on us. Now, my partner and I are currently 6 months pregnant, and we're doing pretty well for ourselves, but we do live in Manhattan, and it's insanely expensive, to the point where I'm kinda needing to pull from my savings more often than I'd like to, and now that we're expecting a child, I feel hyper protective of what nest egg we do have in case of emergencies, medical costs, etc. Well, last week he called me a bit intoxicated and said that he really needs help with the $4,500 that is now due at the end of the month. He said his wife has some checks coming in and he will pay me back as soon as they get the money. Now, I wasn't super comfortable with the conversation and I did my best to avoid it, basically saying something along the lines of, well, why don't we wait and see if the money comes through, and if not, then we can talk about it. Well, yesterday he texted me and said, it doesn't look like we're gonna get the checks by the end of the month, and it would be incredible if we could borrow the money from you. Super annoying, I know, but we're so sorry. I responded by saying, I'm really sorry you're dealing with this fee, but I just don't have that kind of money right now. With the holidays coming up and medical bills for the baby, I'm tapped financially. I budgeted out the month, and I can send you like $150 if you need money for groceries, but that's all I can spare right now. Now, for even a bit more context, my brother and sister are both unreliable people. My sister, who I realize is not super relevant to this story, handles her finances very poorly and will ask to borrow money from me every 6 months or so, with my brother asking before but not nearly as often. My sister has never paid me back, and my brother has managed to get things together in the past to where I don't recall ever lending him much, maybe a couple hundred here and there, but never got anything back. But I say this because he knows he can't ask my sister for help, and our parents have both passed away, which basically leaves only me, his little sister. He is now saying that they could lose their condo and that I'm being a jerk for not lending him the money when they are clearly struggling. I'm doing my best to keep things afloat for my partner and I really don't want to pull from my savings, especially not knowing if I will even get this money back. So am I the jerk for not wanting to lend them money? What should I do? No, you're not the jerk here. If I knew for a fact my siblings would probably not pay me back a couple $1,000s, then there is no way on planet Earth I would lend that money to them. Like seriously, that's a recipe for disaster. And sure, they're gonna lose their condo, but guess what? That's not your fault. You didn't put them in that situation. This literally is not your fault. So for them to be like, wow, we're gonna lose it, you're being so selfish right now, I can't believe you. It's like, what are you talking about? I didn't cause this. You're insane for thinking that. Like, they're the ones that bought the condo in the first place, not you. And if they can't afford it, well then congratulations, that's their problem. And I don't say that to be like heartless or mean to a family member, but seriously, this really could have been avoided if they just live within their means. Like, they literally spent all their savings just to buy the condo in the first place. And I don't know about you, but that does not sound like a smart decision. So no, you would not be the jerk if you chose not to lend any money to your brother, because from the sounds of it, it really seems like you will not get any of that back. Am I the jerk for telling my mom that I will buy my own dress after she called me fat? Because right now, they're all saying that I'm overreacting, but right now I really don't know what to do. Here's what happened. So I'm a 19-year-old female, and I'm going to a wedding for some of my friends of my boyfriend, and my mom offered to help me get ready. For context, my mom is gorgeous. She used to model, and she has always been incredibly beautiful, and she has an awesome body. My 2 older brothers take after her, and they're both handsome men. Now, I'm the only daughter, and as such, I think she expected someone like her, but I am not like her. I was very thin when I was a kid, but I was a tomboy and hated everything feminine. Then puberty hit, and I gained a lot of weight. I'm not obese, but I am your average chubby person. I'm 75 kilograms at about 165 centimeters. So I'm overweight, but not overly so, I guess. Also, I don't look a lot after myself in the sense that I don't really go out of my way to do skincare or any kind of makeup, but I do love my mom, and she does truly love me, but she isn't a kind person. All through my teenage years, she made a lot of harsh comments about my appearance and my weight. I'm a sensitive person, so this used to affect me a lot. I can usually take criticism fairly enough if it's phrased nicely, but I can't take it if there's even a hint of mockery or meanness in it. Anyways, it's not that big of a deal now. Years back, I was honest with my mom that her comments really affected my self-esteem, and she seemed to tone it down. Occasionally, she will still do it, but not that often. She just can't help herself, I think. It's her way of showing love, but it makes me hate myself. When I'm next to her, she will scan my face for pimples, and if she finds one, she will actively ignore me to pop them. Or I will be doing something alone, and she will come over to comment that my hair looks bad, and I need to use this different product. Or sometimes I'll be walking, and she will comment that my belly is large, and that I need to go to the gym. Things like that. I know they're not bad, but I just can't take it. Which then leads me to the situation at hand. She was giving me dresses to use to the wedding, and we have always shared dresses, so this isn't news. One of the dresses that she lent me was one that she used 2 years ago at my graduation, and when I put it on, it was pretty tight. Her and my aunt tried to force it closed, but it was still struggling. Now, I said that they should stop, but they continued to force it, and the zipper basically broke down completely. When it happened, my mom blurted out, "Wow, you really are fat." And my aunt bursted out laughing and started teasing me about being chubby, and I just kept silent. We tried on a few more dresses, and I chose a pretty one that fits well and was elastic, and that was that. Then afterwards, my mom asked me if I really had been going to the gym, and said that I would have to suck in my belly during the wedding, just so it didn't show so much in the dress that I had picked. At that point, I got fed up, and I told her that I was sick of her comments and I would buy my own dress to go. Now, my mom thinks that I blew up at her for nothing, and that I'm about to spend money over a tantrum. Meanwhile, my siblings think that I'm being dramatic, and that I'm just mad that I'm fat. But my friends and my boyfriend think that I'm right. So truly, am I the jerk in this situation? What should I do? No, you're not the jerk here. Your mom, your aunt, and all of your siblings suck. Like, they literally just suck overall. She's making fun of you because of your weight. Like, obviously there's some kind of conversation going on behind your back, and the fact that you're not in on it is really just disturbing. Like, why else would your aunt laugh out of nowhere after your mom was like, "Wow, you really are fat," almost confirming like a conversation they had in private about you? Like, that's crazy and so incredibly mean. And it's so awful that your siblings are like, "Wow, you're being dramatic. You're just mad because you're fat." And it's like, wow, thank you so much for revealing your hand. You're also pointing out the fact that I'm overweight. Which, I mean, come on, let's be honest for a second. Absolutely anyone on the earth who's not a model would easily be seen as chubby or fat if they were standing next to a model and trying on some of their dresses. Like, I don't care if she used to be a model. She clearly keeps up with her appearances, so it's like, okay, we just have different body types. Like, if I was in your shoes and my mom made that comment towards me, I would be like, okay, well, I'm just not gonna deal with you. Why should I have to deal with your stupid comments? Like, that is unbelievably toxic, and you don't deserve that. So no, you're not the jerk in this scenario, because the way your family's acting, in my opinion, is unacceptable. My toxic managers forced me to drive a delivery truck that definitely is out of order, as this truck quite literally was not fit to be on the road, despite the fact that I voiced my concerns many times. So, after dealing with this for so long, I decided to maliciously comply by driving this vehicle anyways, and getting this company in so much trouble that they had to pay $65,000 in fines. Here's what happened. Okay, so back in the day, I was a truck driver. The company had a few trucks that were made for different jobs, and depending on the job you had to deliver, determined the truck you drove. So, it was not too uncommon to drive 3 different trucks in one day. Now, the company was awful on maintenance of the vehicles. Over the years with them, I received a few fines for things like no inspection and stuff like that. And even though I received the fine, the company would pay for the fine. So basically, no harm, no foul. Finally, our big truck really started to go downhill, and it got to the point where it was barely running and needed a ton of repairs costing thousands of dollars to fix it. I told the company that I refused to drive the truck as it was an accident waiting to happen. Well, this lasted a week, and then they said I needed to drive the truck for one delivery. And unfortunately, I agreed out of a need to be a team player and service my customer. Well, as expected, the drive was horrible. It was leaving a trail of smoke 10 feet high as I drove the highway. I knew I was in trouble when they loaded a case of motor oil in the cab for me to fill the engine if needed. On the way there, the cars behind me were turning on their high beams just to see, literally all because of the smoke trail I was leaving. Then, as the sun finally came up, people were pulling up next to me on the highway, they were honking their horns, and they were flipping me the bird. I found out so much liquid oil was coming out of the exhaust that oil was landing on the vehicles behind me. It was only a 50-mile round trip, and the truck lost 24 quarts of oil and almost a tank of fuel. So I again told them that I would not drive the truck until it's fixed. As a truck driver, you are required to do a pre-trip inspection of the vehicle prior to driving every single day. You mark down defects, and there is room for notes in the logbook. One copy stays in the truck, and one copy goes to the company, with a third copy going to the DOT if requested. So I made sure to fill this out every time I drove this truck. I also made a separate list, mostly as a note for myself, covering things that I thought were important, but not necessarily a part of the pre-trip inspection. The next day I came in and I found the truck fully loaded. I told them I was not driving that truck, but they said, well, you have to do it. So after a quick thought, I said okay, but this is where my malicious compliance begins. I pulled out of the lot, and at the traffic light, I would make a left to head to the job. However, I was out of fuel, so I had to turn right to get to the gas station to fuel up, and then backtrack just to head to the job. And yes, I'm talking about getting gas. It was a 33,000-pound truck with a gas engine. Well, the DOT was set up on the other side of the road just before the gas station, and they watched as I drove by, wishing they could get me. Now, in case you don't know, DOT stands for Department of Transportation. For big trucks, they run the weigh stations on the highway, but in heavy truck areas, they set up mobile stations and inspect trucks randomly. They verify that paperwork is in order and that the vehicle and driver are safe. And trust me, any fines here are incredibly expensive. Plus, they can put a truck out of service, meaning that it cannot be driven until it's repaired, which at that point means the truck needs to be towed and fixed. So anyways, I pull into the fuel station, and as I'm filling up, I can feel them watching me. So I leave the fuel station and I head back towards the DOT, and that's when they run out into the street to make me pull in, basically signaling that they wanted this truck. So I pull in and I shut down the truck, and the DOT cop walks up to the truck with a creeper. I say to him, why do you need that? He says, what? I say to him, the creeper, why do you need that? He says to me, I gotta check your truck. I say to him, no, I've got a list. I then hand him the notes and the logbook. He takes a look at it, and then he goes back to his truck, and I can see him furiously writing. After about 30 minutes, he comes back, and he says to me, why are you driving this truck? But I responded by saying they told me to do it. He then asked me, well, is there no other truck? And I reply back and I say, no, there's nothing. He asked me what would happen if I don't drive this truck, and I say to him, well, I guess I get sent home if I don't. He then says he'll be right back, and after about 20 minutes, he comes back to me, and it's right then that he slaps a big out of service tag on the windshield. He then tells me something that blew my mind. He says to me, there are 21 issues that are putting the truck out of service. Plus, I'm giving the company a fine for letting you drive this truck. Unfortunately, your fuel sticker is expired. If I write you up for this, it'll be a $10,000 fine to you. But I called the local cops, and it'll be a $90 fine for you that the company should pay. After he said that, I thanked him, and then he leaves. Well, I call the company, and I get a ride back to the warehouse. The bottom line is that they paid all the fines, which was north of $65,000, including towing. And funny enough, the next week, we had a fleet of new leased trucks with a maintenance plan with replacement trucks if ours were down for any issues. And they even came out and washed the trucks twice a month. I then worked there for another 2 years and quit because of other truck issues. The competitor poached me with better money, but this just goes to show I am not risking my life and the public's life for your job. In the end, you paid a $65,000 lesson. And when I say I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it unless it's safe. Yeah, this is a fantastic example of what happens when a company cuts corners. They literally force you to drive an unsafe vehicle. I can't believe that they forced that on you. But I love the fact that you took notes and made sure to keep a log of everything that these people did, because the way they treated you, in my opinion, is completely unfair. My girlfriend's male best friend is actively trying to sabotage our relationship. And after talking to my girlfriend about this, she doesn't see things the way that I do. And at this point, I really don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, to start things out, it's pretty clear that my girlfriend's best friend has been trying to tear us apart. She said to him that she wants to maintain some boundaries with him, and she's been seeing him a lot less now. She still reassures me that the two of them are just friends, but nothing more, and that she is committed to me, but this guy obviously still likes her. She's kept some distance from him, but she still wants to be his friend. They are are still going to New York and Boston together, which I'm starting to become a little uncomfortable with. She still wants to go with him, but they're going to rearrange their plans a little. I trust my girlfriend completely, but I don't know if I trust this guy. I feel that he's trying to spend quality time with her in hopes that he can win her over or something like that, even though I know that she loves me and I love her too. She says that no matter what happens, I will be her number one, and that she will never do anything with him. She spends a lot more time with me than she does with him now, but keep in mind that when they do hang out, it's only the two of them without me, which I am still able to respect. And I know that she won't do anything with him, but he keeps doing fun stuff with her. She has stopped going to his workplace so often, but they do plan to go kayaking sometime during the winter break, and they're going to go bowling this weekend before heading over to New York. Now, when it comes to me and her best friend, we're both going to have lots of time to see her over the winter break, but he lives closer to her than I do. They keep planning fun things to do together, and I don't think that her best friend will be able to move on from her. He's also told her that she's cute before, and it really bothers me, but it doesn't bother her. She said that she's okay if he compliments her once or twice. So honestly, at this point, I feel incredibly frustrated, and I seriously don't know what to do. Okay, my God, this is so crazy to me. For starters, I do think that your relationship is slowly being sabotaged, but I don't think it's because of this male best friend. If your relationship falls apart with your girlfriend, it is literally only going to be because of your girlfriend. This guy clearly still has like some kind of feelings towards your girlfriend. Like, it seriously could not be more obvious. Also, the original poster mentioned that this guy tried to like confess his love for her, but she rejected him. So it now begs the question, okay, well, why is she keeping this guy around? It's like she acknowledges that she has a relationship with you, but she's also keeping this guy around for some reason and spending all this time together in New York and Boston. And she's like, oh, it's fine if he calls me cute like once or twice. That's okay. That's just a compliment. It's like, no, lady, this is not just a compliment. This guy has more on his mind than just being friends. And it really seems like he's trying desperately to work his way into the middle of your relationship. And you've even expressed this. You've said, hey, I don't like this guy being around because he really is like putting a wedge between us. Because in my opinion, it seems like she's only keeping him around because she likes the attention. Like, that's the only reason I can think of in this scenario. She likes that another guy is doting all over her and loves to take her kayaking and bowling and all this other stuff, while also keeping you on the side as the actual boyfriend. Like, she's really out here trying to have two boyfriends and is sitting there like, oh wow, what's going on? I don't understand. He's just a friend. It's not a big deal. So yes, if I was in your shoes, I would also be incredibly frustrated. I would not know what's going on, and I would seriously be questioning my girlfriend's motives. So honestly, if I was in your shoes, I would really make my girlfriend choose between me or this other guy, because she clearly wants it both ways, and that is absolutely not fair for you in the slightest. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist at the top of the description. And if you want some chill music to put on in the background, check out easymode.com. If you like Am I the Jerk, subscribe to Am I the Genius. Everything will be linked down below in the description.
Entitled sister demands we share my daughter. Claims that she has parental rights. Here's what happened. Subscribe to Am I the Jerk on YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. Okay, so this happened a few years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And to be honest, still can't understand what my sister was thinking. A little backstory. My sister and I had to share everything as kids. Not to mention I was forced to be her and our younger brother's second mother. But I'll save that for a different post. For some of my childhood, I was happy to share things with my sister. Sweets, snacks, toys, the normal kid things. There's 4 years between us. I'm the oldest, and as you can probably guess, when I reached my teen years, I wanted my own things and to spend some time alone. Nope, she wanted me to do everything with her. I could barely spend 10 minutes in the bathroom before she would start banging on the door. Unfortunately, when I was around 15, my siblings and I were taken into foster care. We were separated from our brother, which was difficult for both of us. And for a while, I didn't mind my sister wanting to spend more time with me. Shortly after my 16th birthday, I wanted to have my own space, and things that are, well, mine. She would argue with me over not sharing my stuff. And of course, typical sibling fights and yelling happened almost every other day. We sort of grew out of our sibling squabbles over the years, but she kinda developed a the world owes me attitude, which drove me crazy. I did my best to hold in my frustrations, but I'm human, and I sometimes kinda snapped. A couple years after my daughter was born, my sister and I weren't really talking much because of her selfish attitude towards me spending most of my time and income on my daughter. During one of the times we were on good terms, she was over for the weekend, and everything was okay. Until a conversation led to her telling me she was going to take my daughter for a week because she wanted to spend time with her, saying that it was her turn. I said, not gonna happen. She's my daughter, not a doll or a pet we share. She gets mad and starts yelling. I told her to leave, and she argues about how she had parental rights, and that social services will force me to allow her to take my daughter whenever she wants. I laughed, told her to get out and don't come back. Honestly, I don't know if she seriously thought that it was her right to have my daughter. I've got plenty of other insane stories about my family, which I may post at some point. Your sister sounds a little bit delusional. Everything up until this point, especially with you guys being taken out of your parents' care and put into foster care, I kinda summed up to her just wanting to be around her big sister. But thinking that she's entitled to her turn with your child and that social services is gonna back her on this, she might have a screw loose. Like I said, everything else up until this point is totally understandable. If she doesn't see that there's a line here though, then yeah, maybe she should talk to somebody. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below, and if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out Easy Mode, also linked below. And don't forget to subscribe. Entitled Dad insists that a stranger pay for his shopping, claiming that he promised he would do so. Due to me working in a supermarket, I meet a lot of different people, and most of them are incredibly nice and respectful. However, I also see a lot of Karens and male Karens, and that's exactly who this story is about. It was midweek and I was working the tills when a man, entitled Dad, and his son approached and began loading on their shopping, and they had a lot of shopping. After scanning their items, I told them the amount. I think it was around 145 pounds. And the entitled dad began rummaging around in his wallet and pulling out notes of money. After counting it all out, it turns out he was a few pounds short and decided his son should probably put something back so that he could pay. The kid was upset and reluctantly obliged. However, the guy who was standing behind them at the till spoke up. "I can get that for you." He smiled, obviously talking to the kid and not the dad. The kid smiled, and before he could say anything, the entitled dad went, "Oh, thank you so much. Comes to X pounds." And he threw his son's items in the trolley and moved away to let the man come forwards. The other guy was like, "I was talking about your kid stuff. I'll buy that. I'm not paying for all of your shopping. I can't afford to." "But you just said you'd pay." "Yeah, but I meant I'd pay for your kid's thing, not all of your shopping." "Well, you can't just make empty promises. You have to pay for it now." He then looked at me. "That's how it works, right? He has to pay because he promised he would." I tell the entitled dad that this nice gentleman is not obligated to buy his shopping. Entitled dad shoots me a mean look and tells his son to pass his stuff to the man behind who was still nice enough to pay for it, which is a lot nicer than I would have been. They then both left. Midway through serving the nice guy, I saw entitled dad and his kid at the cash machine through the window withdrawing some more money, meaning all along he could afford it in the first place. So me and the nice guy had a good laugh about that. I gotta commend this guy for not letting some jerk get him down. Seriously though, shout out to this random stranger who was nice enough to offer and completely shook this jerk off when things went sideways. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would be willing to fork up a few bucks to get the kid what he wants and just kinda keep the line moving. It's a nice gesture and you're helping someone out and making a kid happy. Not a big deal if you can afford it, but to turn around and assume they're gonna pay for your whole cart is a little bit much. It's quite clear they're just offering you the few bucks that you you need. But it's when people like this get taken advantage of that they stop being so generous. Thankfully, this gentleman wasn't going to let it ruin his day. I kicked a jerk out of my car for smoking after I told him not to, so he tried to frame me. A bit of background. I'm from Germany. I have only a few rules concerning my home, my stuff, and my car when other people come around. In my home, it's I'm not a servant. If you want to eat or drink, take it from the fridge or pantry. With my tools, it's ask before using. And in my car, it is do not smoke in my car. And above all, if you make a mess, you clean it up. Seems reasonable, right? Well, not for the guy in this story. For our cast, we have me, the smoker, and the police officer. This happened in summer 2015. I got my car in December 2014, a 2008 Volkswagen Golf 1.9 diesel. I still drive it. I was on my way to a convention and decided to take a passenger with me. Really nice to have some company on a 6-hour drive. I picked him up and told him about the no smoking rule. Everything seemed fine until we hit the Autobahn. This guy pulled out a pack of cigarettes and lit one up. This following conversation ensued. Hey, what the hell? I told you, no smoking. So what? What you gonna do about it? Kick you out? You know, it's illegal to stop on the Autobahn. This is true. German law states you can't stop on the Autobahn unless it's an emergency or your car broke down. You even get fined for running out of gas on the Autobahn, as it is preventable. Anyways, I knew something Smoker didn't. There was a truck stop just 3 kilometers ahead. I got off the Autobahn and stopped at said truck stop. Alright, out of my car. Now, you can't do that. I sure as heck can. This is my car and I have every right to kick you out. The next part is a bit blurry as it was mainly screaming at each other. I remember getting out of my car and tossing his suitcase and bag out of my car, then dragging him out of my car and shoving him to the ground. I drove off and listened to music the rest of the drive, singing along to Rammstein. Later that evening, I was in the hotel room relaxing after the drive. I'd been there about 3 hours at that point when I heard a knock at the door. Hotel management, hotel security, convention organizer, and the police were all standing there with a smug-looking smoker. Police told me they picked him up about 2 kilometers away from the truck stop on the Autobahn. He claimed I kicked him out at the spot where they found him. You do know this is illegal. You broke Highway Code XYZ and willingly endangered Smoker's life. Sir, with all due respect, he's been lying to you. I kicked him out at the truck stop. You can ring them up. I'm sure they have it on tape. Did he even tell you why I kicked him out? No, he didn't. I then told them the story and explained I didn't want him in my car anymore because he broke my personal rules in my personal car. I kicked him out at the truck stop as from there he could have easily called someone to come and pick him up. Smoker turned very pale at that point. The police officer was furious with him. Is this true? Well, you need to come with me. Smoker got charged with falsely accusing me. It was a money-related penalty, in the 4-figure range. Wasn't the first time, as I later found out. The convention canceled his membership. Hotel management canceled his reservation. And I got free drinks at the hotel bar for my entire stay, as well as a free sponsor upgrade for the convention. Thanks, jerk. Yeah, this is just a jerk being a classic jerk here. He knew the rule and waited until the moment where you couldn't do anything about it. The pettiness of calling the police and trying to frame you for breaking the law is just next level though. It's your car and your rules. You told him no smoking. That's the way it is. If he really needed one that badly, I'm sure he could have asked you to pull over. And hey, guess what? There was a truck stop right up ahead. But he just had to go and be a jerk about it. He even came with the "what are you gonna do about it" line. He did nothing but antagonize and escalate the situation. To turn around and try and pull a move like that when you handled the situation how he was asking for it to be handled is just really low. My boss refused to give me a raise, so I got my own license and now I'm his boss. Let's start with the background. I work as a subcontractor for an actually licensed contractor for a realty company. Basically, the realty company buys houses and the contractor tells us to go to the new address, and my coworkers and I flip the house and get it ready to be rented. When I first started the job, it was a difficult transition, considering I was a plumber previously, but eventually I became a valuable asset to contractor's company. thus the realty company as well. The contractor was infamous for being a bit of a jerk when it came to actual business and money. He was constantly yelling and screaming at the plumber, the painters, etc. about prices and how it took them too long and he wasn't paying that much. Which I would understand if the yelling was actually warranted. When it became tax season, he gave everyone a 1099 and said he lost mine and got ticked off every time I asked about it. This guy easily makes $2 million a year, so he says. So I don't really think $100 off the price matters that much. Not enough to get into a screaming match and ruin relationships with other subcontractors. I've been working for him for about a year now at $16 an hour. Not too bad in my area, but he makes a lot more in a day than the $160 I make every 10-hour workday. One day, I asked him for a raise, which he laughs at and shuts me down immediately. After that, I decide to work harder, get houses done faster, and show him that I deserve a raise. A few months later, I decide to ask for a raise again, but not as directly. How could I be more useful to the company so I can increase my productivity and both of us can make more money? He said, "Get a van and a trailer and then we can talk about more money," in his normal gruff tone that says, "Shut up and get back to work." After that day, I worked side jobs here and there. Worked a lot later than I usually would, and even all throughout the weekend, saving up as much money as possible. I sometimes wouldn't eat some days just to save that little bit of money. He loved how much I was getting done, and I could practically see the dollar signs in his eyes when I told him all that I got done every day. Finally, the day came where I saved up just enough to buy my dad's old Ford van. Then, not long after, I bought a piece of crap 5x10 trailer that I had to fix up. The following Monday, I pull up with the bright white gas guzzler and the fixed up trailer following behind. I walked up to him smiling ear to ear about my accomplishment, hoping he would be proud or at least happy of all that I've done. I tell him to look at my new toys, and all he says is, "Cool," and got in his truck and left. Okay, maybe he's just busy, I thought, as I processed his extremely underwhelming response. At the end of the day, I finally have a moment with him to discuss my raise. So I have the van and the trailer. I've saved up and done everything you said that I needed to do to make money and be more of an asset to this company. He narrows his eyes at me. "What are you talking about? You said that if I got a van and a trailer that you would pay me more." "I never said any of that. You have to actually work if you want something else from me." I was devastated. I've been working my butt off while he sat around and watched. I followed every instruction, completed at the very least 2 houses a week, which he makes about $5,000 per house, or so he says. And he acts like I do nothing for the company. I swallowed my pride and let out a quick "yes sir" and left his office. I was finally tired of dealing with him. Tired and defeated, I decided it was time to start looking for other jobs that actually have the possibility to move up. Then the company electrician gave me an idea. I'm gonna call him Adam for privacy reasons. Adam is a good guy all around. If you needed advice or just someone to talk to, he was always there for you. I told him about everything that had happened with Contractor and told him I was looking for other jobs. He simply said, "You're not supposed to be here to try and make it to the top. You're here to learn. Learn everything you can, and then one day you'll be the contractor. A better one than Contractor for sure. Why not look into getting your general contracting license? It's not hard, you just have to work for it." That's what I did to an extent. I worked with Contractor for years dealing with his bullcrap, until one day I decided to get my electrician's license. Now he doesn't decide what I'm paid. I do. That is, if he wants me to work for him, and if not, then I have other customers to make my living. I took his words to heart and came up with a plan. I did some research on becoming a general contractor in my state. Requirements differ in other states. Basically, I would need books to learn the material, references, a bank reference, and to pass the test. The books were pretty expensive. With bills, taking care of my family, and a monthly van payment, it seemed impossible for now. Until I found a group following in my area that needed a handyman to do a variety of things. Perfect. Extra money. Soon my name started blowing up in my small town. I did everything from repairing fences to installing toilets. I took everything I learned from plumbing and from working for Contractor and used it to build a reputation. References, check. This is when I decided it was time to open my own business. Again, I did my research and learned all I had to do to open said business. I'll spare you the details details, but it was basically business license, how to get an LLC, liability insurance, think of a name not already taken, blah blah blah. It took a while, but I sent in all that I had and prayed to whatever God there is for me to be invited to take the test. I waited about 3 weeks, and finally I got a letter inviting me to take the next test. It was a 3-hour drive and on a Tuesday. Great, another speed bump. I have to miss a day's work and pay $300. The day of the test came and I panicked. It was open book, but I eventually ran out of time and didn't get to finish. I was so disappointed in myself that I basically gave up. I just decided to keep working my job and a little side business. A week later, I was holding my son. He's a beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed reflection of myself. After I managed to get him to sleep, I stared at him and wondered if I could be able to give him a better life than I had. I remembered growing up in crappy trailers, being hungry, and made fun of at school because I wore clothes from Walmart. Not the best way to grow up, but I had a roof over my head. I always wanted video games that my friends had, but never got it. I wanted to go to trampoline parks and water parks. I had only been once in my entire life. That's about when my resolve renewed itself for me. I had to do this, not only for me, but for him. I saved up all over again and came up with the $300 and requested for a retake of the test. I took practice tests online, so I was ready. The day came and I barely managed to pass, but I still passed the test and received my license. Now, time for the fun part. With all of the time passing, I became pretty close friends with the owner of the realty company, going to barbecues, stopping to tell him some corny joke I saw on Facebook, and doing extra tasks not under contractor. One day, I came into his office and saw some invoices from contractor on his desk. I just said, wow, that's how much you're paying him? Dude, he should at least take it a little bit easy on you, being that you've known each other so long. He just nodded and said, you think so? And he just looked at the papers more. Since then, I would say little comments about how much contractor was being paid and how many houses we could buy with that money. Just planting seeds in his mind that I slowly water until they turn into a beautiful garden of resentment. Finally, owner calls me and wants me to come to his house for a beer and to talk business. We've done this a few times before. It's usually about his wife or the last time he played golf. I pull into his driveway and he told me to meet him out back. After the usual how are yous, he tells me that him and contractor had a bit of an argument and they're limiting him from now on. Then he turned to me and said, there's a meeting Friday. I want you there at 9 o'clock. I hesitate. I wasn't sure what it could have been. You know how your parents would ask, do you have something to tell me? And as a kid, you would go into a panic and think about all the bad crap you did at school. I calmly managed to say, sure, I'll be there. A few beers and stories about fishing trips and I head home. The meeting was this morning, and as soon as I came in, everyone shook my hand. Some I've seen before and said my hi, how are yous to. Others I've never met in my life. This was an investor meeting. Some of these people are worth figures in the 9 digits. I was internally freaking out after finding out, but if you've been paying attention, you know I know how to keep my cool. After our greetings, we sat down and waited. It wasn't clear who we were waiting on until an hour later, contractor walks in with his usual stained t-shirt and cargo shorts, while I'm in a nice dress shirt and tie. Everyone made a face and greeted contractor while we got settled again. Contractor didn't seem to notice me until we all sat back down. I saw him do a double take and give me a look that said, what the heck are you doing here? I had requested today off, so I could only imagine what he was thinking. After introducing the new investors to the old investors, owner got started saying how we're gonna have an amazing year and an amazing future for the company. I suppose he was just hyping up the new guys so they would invest more. About 2 hours of production values and budget stuff, blah blah blah, he turned to me and said, I'd just like to take this time to congratulate Original Poster for passing the general contractor's exam and his newly acquired business. I smiled and thanked him. Then he continued, as we're growing, we have a demand for new and inspiring people within our company. After hearing about Original Poster's success in both our company and his, I'd like to personally ask him a question in front of the whole team. My heart is pounding in my throat, as each word sounded slower than the last. I took a side glance at contractor that is visibly sweating at this point. Original Poster, how would you like to be our new property manager? You may still have your business and do your own work, but we'll pay you exclusively to be our personal contractor and help take care of all new and old properties. Everyone turns to me, and I take a second to respond. Just then, contractor stands up and says, "What the heck? I'm your contractor. I've been your contractor for over a decade. You can't just replace me for some jerk that doesn't know what he's doing." Owner smugly looks at contractor and says, "We're not replacing you. You'll just answer to him now. All tasks, orders, and billing will go through him now. If you'd still like to work for us, granted you mind your mouth and tone, you'll run anything you do by original poster." Contractor looks enraged, and he turns to me. "You're fired!" "You have no business here anymore. Now leave." Owner chuckles and says, "You don't have that power anymore, as long as original poster agrees to my question." I turn to him and say, "Are you sure you can afford me?" I laugh and shake his hand. "Yes, this is all I've ever wanted, all that I've ever worked for. Now we can get some real work done." I have to admit, I've been practicing that response since I was asked to come to this meeting. Contractor stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind him, and I didn't see him for the rest of the day. After he left, we continued to discuss the goals for this year, and it turns out they bought 60 new houses for me to work on with the investors' money. And he just looked at me and said, "Can you handle that?" I happily said, "Yes, sir," trying to keep my eyes from watering. All I thought about was my family and how proud they would be of me. In a little under a year, I received a great license, my own business, and pretty much non-stop work. If there's anything you guys listening can take from this, I hope it'll be this. Don't settle in life. Be hungry to better yourself, and be the best person you can be. The only person stopping you is yourself. That really is great for our original poster. Going from working a kinda crappy job with a crappy boss to being your own boss and having your old boss work under you is probably about the best scenario anyone in that situation could ask for. Our original poster earned it though. They worked really hard to do what they could do to better their position in life. And when something wasn't working out for them, they took matters into their own hands. When you give yourself that kind of control, you can achieve almost anything. Suddenly, there are no boundaries in your way, only the ones that you set for yourself. I really don't have a lot to add to this one. Yeah, sure, boss is a jerk, wouldn't give a raise to their hardworking employee, yada yada yada. That's not the stuff to focus on this one. This one's all about where our original poster ended up, and that is great for them. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories. Or if you want some vibey music to put on in the background, check out Easy Mode. If you like Am I the Jerk, give Am I the Genius a shot. Everything's linked in the description.
My entitled stepmother tried to destroy a baby shower by changing all of the decorations around to what she specifically wanted. But in the end, we get revenge and we get the last laugh, as we switched all of her horrible decorations around at the last second, completely shocking her and putting her in her place. Here's what happened. So my fiance Jane found out that she was pregnant back in June of 2021, and we announced it to all of our families in August. All of the names in this story are fake, by the way. At first, my stepmother was completely uninterested in our baby. Not that I expected much from that woman, whose actual reaction to our pregnancy announcement was to ask Jane if she was sure that it was mine, which is something even my dad yelled at her about. But she barely acknowledged the fact that we are expecting a baby. Instead, she was more interested in my stepbrother, who was also engaged and would give her beautiful grandbaby soon. But you know what? I have no complaints. We do not want her involved, and we didn't even have to say anything in the first place. Planning our baby shower was complicated. Both me and Jane would have to work until the holidays, and I wanted to be involved. The due date was February 2022, so we decided on early January as the best period of time. We enlisted 2 people as planners, my sister, who we will call Laura, and Jane's best friend by the name of Nina. Me and Jane are mostly laid-back people. We didn't want a big party, nor did we want to spend too much money on it. We were saving for both our baby and the wedding, so we decided early on that the shower would be co-ed. It would also have have to be indoors again in January, and we settled on a guest list of about 25 people plus about a dozen kids. We came up with the idea of a pizza party. So me, Jane, and someone by the name of Luke, who was my brother-in-law, have had homemade pizza nights weekly since I moved in, and we thought it would be fun to incorporate that into the shower. Nina even found an event venue with a pizza oven, and Laura figured out ways to incorporate classic baby shower stuff into the theme. The resulting plans were awesome. You would make your own pizza, you would have non-alcoholic drinks, and plain bodysuits for the kids to customize. Nina and Laura mixed pizza decor with baby decor and found pizza-shaped sweets. It almost seemed messy, and I was surprised they made it work, but we loved it. Most of the planning was finished by the middle of November. Well, later that month, my stepbrother's fiance left him for her ex. They'd been together for 4 years at that point, and it was both sudden and traumatizing for him. He was absolutely devastated. My stepmother then realized the grandkids she dreamed of would take longer to come than she had thought. So naturally, without her son's future children to obsess over, she moved over to mine. Suddenly, my stepmother went from aloof relative to excited grandma-to-be. Her Facebook posts were incredibly tacky, basically hamming it up as the future grandma of my kid. At first, we were too busy finishing things up at work, as well as getting ready for the holidays to worry about any of that. But it did not take long for her to start pestering us about planning the baby shower, as well as a gender reveal. We denied the possibility of a gender reveal, no offense to those who like them, but we really don't. Plus, we decided to wait until birth to find that out. My stepmother tried to get us to find out and tell her as some kind of Christmas present, but we definitely did not do that. We also denied her the baby shower. She told my father, and he talked Laura into letting her help out with the plans. Laura was still living with them at the time, so she didn't have much of a choice. She called Lena and they met my stepmother for coffee. Though I wasn't there for that meeting, Laura told me what happened later. Before they could even mention their plans, my stepmother started talking about hers. According to Laura, she pulled a shockingly thick binder out, complete with the words "Oh baby" on the cover, with colorful tabs and pieces of fabric poking out, all from her purse, and skipped to the shower section. It was short compared to the rest of the binder, but it was still very long, and it was all to describe her one and only baby shower project. Laura sent me pictures, and oh boy, it was a mess. I'll give you this. It looked like the best baby shower you would ever see on Instagram. That being said, it also was barely functional and obviously very expensive. There were balloons, oversized teddy bears, giant alphabet blocks, and cringeworthy signs everywhere. My stepmother was going for pretty over cozy, with uncomfortable chairs and some fancy food ideas that didn't even look edible. Most of them just had soft cheeses, which Jane could not eat. The color palette was just 3 different shades of pink, with gold accents all over the place. Now, we would be fine with a pink shower if it at least tried to mix things up just a little bit, but my stepmother's pictures looked like Barbie had puked all over Hello Kitty's birthday party. When Nina tried to remind her that we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl, my stepmother said, "Well, I just know that it's a girl." But as a spoiler alert, it wasn't. My stepmother also wanted an all-female, child-free party with fancy caterers and alcohol. She had written down a guest suggestion list containing some of her closest friends, and on that list, my mom wasn't there, and neither was Jane's mom. She also planned party games that no one had any interest in trying out. Basically, the only thing everyone could agree on was to hold the party indoors. Laura and Nina weren't given an opportunity to show her their plans until she was done, and once they could, they explained that while they could find a way to incorporate some of the stepmother's ideas, they had already settled on a pizza theme. She tried to protest, but Laura stated that it was kind of them to even offer that, as the shower was a month away, and we had already greenlit their plans. The stepmother even tried to call me just to try and get them to change their minds, but I just repeated their words back to her. My dad also found out that he couldn't come to the baby shower, so he didn't have a say in anything anymore. The holidays came around and the subject was dropped. My stepmother seemed to be okay with the pizza party idea, and Nina managed to pair some of the pink decor that my stepmother wanted just to try and match it with the blue stuff, and even added one of the huge teddy bears. Fast forward to a week before the shower, and Jane was almost 8 months pregnant. Everything had been bought, and all the guests had been RSVP'd, and pretty much everything was ready to go. The shower was set up at 7:00 p.m., but my stepmother offered to get to the venue earlier to prepare for everything. Now, Laura agreed, mostly because she knew that the stepmother would complain if she didn't get to do anything, and the venue even let them drop off their decorations before the party. Me and Jane promised to get there at 6. 2 days before the shower, however, the venue called up Nina. They told her that my stepmother had stopped by to drop off large, heavy boxes of what she called a little surprise for all of us. She informed them that she planned on showing up at 3:30 p.m. to start setting up for the baby shower, and they were calling to reinforce that the venue was only booked past 4 p.m. since the stepmother almost threw a tantrum when they told her that. All the decor was still at Nina's place, so she called Laura to check if they'd left anything with the stepmother. Thankfully, my sister is both smart and used to this garbage, so she drove to the venue the next day and asked to see the stepmother's boxes. She told me she wasn't even surprised at its contents when she opened them, but she was still shocked at the stepmother's audacity. All of the boxes were filled with pink, frilly decorations,
Smiley face.
and some of them seemed to be
Welcome
the
to my
exact same
channel.
items that the stepmother
Smiley
had initially
face.
shown Laura and Nina.
Said.
The signs, the balloons, the
WSG.
placemats, everything. And it was right about then that Laura realized why the stepmother intended to get to the venue earlier. She was gonna set up that baby
Smiley
shower that
face.
she had planned and pretty much
Said.
force all of us to party
Hi.
in the Barbie nightmare hellscape. She called Nina to try and figure out what to do. Neither of them could come at 4 p.m., so it was almost inevitable for the stepmother to get her way. The most obvious solution, though, that they came up with was to throw everything away. But Laura had a better idea. That night, they called me and Jane. They said to me, "So, do you want to destroy a party in 2 hours?" Laura got home and invited the stepmother to go to the salon with her, lying about having some kind of coupons or something like that. The stepmother agreed, and they planned on going right after the stepmother was done preparing for the baby shower. At 4 p.m. the next day, the stepmother got to the venue. She was done setting things up by 5 o'clock and quickly left to meet Laura at the salon. Once they got together, Laura texted Nina that the coast was clear, and after that, me, Jane, and Nina got to work on the venue. And sure enough, my stepmother had prepared her party, and this place was so pink that it made all of us nauseous. For the next 2 hours, Laura distracted the stepmother at the salon, while the three of us quickly took down every piece of decor that the stepmother had put up and replaced it with the pizza party stuff. We set up the activities, we made up the tables, we put every
Smiley
pink
face.
item we found back in my
Said.
stepmother's stupid boxes.
What are you playing
It was
on?
actually really fun too. We were done only minutes before the shower started. A handful of guests arrived before the stepmother did, so I barely saw her all night. Laura told me that when they got there, my stepmother's jaw dropped as she tried to make sense of what had happened to all her pink decor. My sister just smiled and whispered in her ear, "Nice try,"
Evan Turing.
and went to help Luke customize
Said.
a bodysuit. Overall,
playing
the
on
baby
PC.
shower was everything that we had hoped
Smiley
for.
face.
Our friends were there, people
Said.
had fun, and we had a ton
Nut.
of pizza. So I didn't
Smiley
really care
face.
that the stepmother spent the whole
Said.
party literally sulking in the
Nice.
corner. At one point, Nina did catch her trying to put little pink bows on top of the cupcakes, but she quickly shut that down. I gave Laura and Nina full credit for saving the day. My stepmother's interest in our baby quickly passed after that. She stopped wearing her future grandma shirts, didn't come to see us at the hospital when he was born, and even refused to acknowledge that he was a boy until she met him a few weeks later. And up until we went no contact with her, she was a very loose definition of the word grandmother. And I couldn't be more grateful that my son will never know her. That is seriously hilarious. This stepmother seriously thought that she was being slick. Did she seriously think she could go in early and change everything about this baby shower to what she wanted? Like, what in the world is wrong with her? Why would you do that to someone
Smiley
else's
face.
baby shower? It kind of makes sense
Said.
why this original poster went
Sorry,
no
I got
contact
to go
with this
bye.
lady. Because
Sad
this
face.
behavior is so insane. If she wanted to be involved, she should have fallen in line with what they already planned months in advance. The original poster goes on to say that they've only ever had problems with this lady. So honestly, for the sake of your own son, I don't blame you for kicking her out of your life. She is clearly toxic and she doesn't actually care about you. She clearly only considers you as second best, and she definitely doesn't care about that boy at all. So hopefully this lady stays out of your life completely, because this lady seriously tried to destroy this baby shower, and that is absolutely unacceptable. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. An entitled customer refuses to get served by a woman at a restaurant that I work at, and even goes as far as to lie and claim that I was being rude to him. And this was all incredibly frustrating and so offensive. Here's what happened. So I've been in the service industry for 9 years, and I've dealt with all kinds of people, but this one really stuck with me. This happened a little over a year ago. So in my restaurant, we have a teamwork-based system where we greet each other's tables, run food for each other's tables, and clear off everybody else's tables. It's a great system, and we all hold each other other accountable. We're still responsible for our own sections, and we don't have to tip more, so we still keep the tips even if other servers help out. I got sat with a middle-aged couple, and I saw them get greeted by a server. Once the server was getting their waters made, I told them I could take the waters to them. I went to drop them off, and I did my whole spiel. Hello and welcome, my name is such and such, and I will be taking care of you this evening. The man immediately was confused and said that they already had a server. This happens sometimes when we greet each other's tables, but I explained to them that the server by the name of Eric was getting them started with their drinks, while I will be their main server. The man was very certain that Eric was his server, but eventually gave in when I kept explaining to them that Eric was helping me out. I walked off to give them a few moments to decide on their entrees, and I saw them talking to my manager from a distance. My manager came back and told me that he does not want to be served by me and insisted that Eric was a far better server than me. And this is with what little interaction he had with the both of us. He also told her that he would not take no for an answer and he would only be served by Eric since apparently I was very rude. Now, Eric had already been cut and was almost ready to leave, but my manager had him finish serving the table. He was mad that the guy didn't just keep me as their server, and I was upset that someone would lie and call me rude. Later on, Eric finished with the table and they paid out. My manager asked if the guy paid with a card, and Eric told her that he had. So my manager looked at the card and saw his full name. I asked what she was doing, and she said that the way he was talking to her was really demeaning. She said he was surprised that she was a manager and asked if there was anyone else that he could talk to. She said that he had talked to her as if she was stupid and didn't know anything. She looked up his name and found his Facebook along with his business. We clicked on the website to his dentistry business and we followed what he was doing just for a little bit. We also noticed that there was one single review for his business, which is weird, but I guess not super uncommon. So we decided to click on it and see what it was all about. And it was a single 1-star review. It read, "Do not go here." I was very uncomfortable around this man as he tried to hide his blatant misogyny. We were shocked, but honestly not that surprised. I guess it was the first time I was really around someone who actually hated women. At first, I was really upset because he made me feel like I did something wrong, but then I realized there was really nothing I could have done to make him like me. Even Eric said that during his service, the man did not let his significant other talk at all and would switch between calling her his girlfriend and his wife. I also can't imagine running a business where half of your clientele are women while still basically treating them all this way. That guy seriously sounds incredibly creepy, and I'm really surprised that the manager allowed this guy to stick around. Like, first off, Eric was out the door. His shift was over and he was about to leave, but this manager decided to try and make him stay just to make this misogynistic customer happy. Like, seriously, she should have told him to take a hike. You do not have to put up with that kind of behavior, and honestly, I would just tell them to leave if I was in her shoes. And it's so annoying that he just lied about this lady and how she was being rude to him, even though that's not true. So hopefully this guy never comes back, and if he does and tries that again, hopefully the manager has some kind of backbone and they tell him to get lost. An entitled man-child demands a full refund after we allowed his untrained dog into our breakfast room. And now, after putting him in his place, I'm waiting for his bad review to pop up online about our hotel. Here's what happened. So this happened just this morning when I finished my shift as a night receptionist at a 4-star family-style hotel. I had an encounter with an entitled man, his significant other, and their dog. They were on their way to the breakfast room, which leads past the front desk, where I informed them that dogs are not allowed in our breakfast room, and if they would kindly consider leaving the dog in the room or eating their breakfast in the lobby or even their room. I gave them some kind of option they could work with. And the reason why we don't let the dogs in the breakfast room is because it is fully carpeted. Now, this entitled guy is a butch dude. He's big, he has tattoos all over, and he pretty much immediately exploded on me, yelling at me by saying, "You're a dog hotel. Of course my dog is allowed in there." I guess he thinks he's pretty intimidating. I explained that while we allow dogs on one floor of the hotel, as well as one of the restaurants, there are unfortunately multiple reasons for the no dog policy in our breakfast room, specifically because of allergies or phobias of the other guests, as well as food safety and then some. Usually we inform guests with dogs about this at check-in, and I apologize that it didn't happen this time, even though it probably did and he just didn't listen. I also explained that we are by no means a dog hotel and we do not advertise it as such. Well, as you could probably guess, he got really aggressive and yelled louder, disturbing every guest that was present. He demanded a full refund for his room and told me they would book a different hotel next time. He called me all these names and then some, but I just apologized again for their bad experience, and while I understand understand that they will book somewhere else next time, a refund is not an option. And as you can probably guess, he did not like that answer in the slightest. By the way, the dog was long-haired. He was not on a leash, and during our discussion, it was roaming around the hotel lobby, approaching our guests as well as barking. So this dog was by no means trained at all. So there was no way you could have it in a room with food and many strangers. This was definitely not a service dog. His significant other observed the whole thing from the lobby and did nothing to keep the dog under control, while her jerk of a boyfriend was absolutely rude to me and everybody else. I ended up informing my manager about the refund request, which I'm pretty sure will be denied, and got out of there as soon as possible. Now it's time for bed. I'm currently waiting to see that bad review pop up online just so I can have a good laugh about this ridiculous dude and his tiny man energy. Yeah, that guy thought he could get away with whatever he wants simply because he's big and has a bunch of tattoos. Like, no, that's not a dog hotel. They don't advertise as such, that's not how it works. And this guy should feel lucky that his dog was allowed in the hotel in the first place. A lot of places just don't let that slide at all. They don't have a specific hotel floor allowing that, so booking somewhere else probably won't be an option depending on where this place is. So I really just hate people like this. And it doesn't help that the dog is clearly not trained. They're walking around all over the breakfast room floor, they're coming up to strangers, they're barking, and no one's doing anything about it. So even if this dog was trained, it's evidence that this entitled guy's not going to take care of the dog at all. He's going to allow this behavior, and it's just going to escalate out of control. That's usually how these things work. So good for the original poster for standing their ground. They didn't allow this guy to walk all over him, and they took this negative attitude in stride. And honestly, when it comes to complaints and weird entitled customers like this, standing your ground really is the best thing to do that will shut them down. My best friend is in love with me, and I don't know what to do considering the fact that I now have another boyfriend, and I'm not sure how they are going to react. Here's what happened. So to start things out, we've been best friends for roughly 2 years now. It started off great. We get along really well, and we are just comfortable around each other. I was in a relationship in the beginning of our friendship, and eventually I broke up with the guy. Around the time that we broke up, my friend expressed that he had feelings for me. I explained that I didn't have those feelings in return, and this would be strictly a friendship between the two of us. He said he agreed, and off we went. Ever since that moment, I've been trying my best to set boundaries and stay away from anything that might have been a little bit too much of a relationship, just to avoid giving him the wrong impression. For example, the only physical contact we have is a hug, and that's only when we first see each other, nothing more. If we go out, I don't let him pay for stuff, as well as anything else that would make it seem like we're a couple. I've been seeing a new guy, and it's been amazing so far. I really see this going somewhere, and I'm really worried that this relationship with my friend will give him the wrong impression. I don't do anything I'd be uncomfortable with if he did it with his female friends. I don't know what to do. I really value my friendship, but him liking me is getting to be a bit too much. I don't want to lose him as a friend since he is one of my only friends. What should I do? I can definitely see both sides of this. I can totally see that the original poster would be worried that her friendship with this guy friend would somehow seem weird to her new boyfriend. Like, I totally understand that anxiety, and I think you're right to be cautious about any kind of false narrative. Like, that's understandable in my opinion. But maybe the problem is that you don't have other friends. Maybe you should try to get other female friends in your life. That way it'll be less sketchy, and you can have more people around you than just this one guy who clearly has a crush on you. And let's be honest, that crush has not gone away. If he still is spending all this time with you, and he's getting a free hug from you anytime he sees you, I can guarantee you that he probably still likes you. And I know from the boyfriend's perspective, eventually he's gonna find out about this guy, and he's gonna see you giving him a hug every time he comes by. And that's probably gonna be a big question mark in his head. Like, who is this guy and why are you hugging him? I thought I was the only guy that you wanted to be with. Like, that conversation is definitely going to come up. So if you really do want to try and keep this friend around, I would at least make the effort of broadening your friend group so that you can try and avoid just only having him as a friend. Because otherwise, I just don't think that this relationship is going to work out. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, use the playlist at the top of the description. And if you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out in the description below and subscribe.
Epic Santa Claus humiliates Karen in front of a live audience for bullying 9-year-old boy with a speech impediment. Here's what happened. Subscribe to Am I the Jerk on YouTube and hit the bell for notifications. I work in an aquarium, and during the month of December, Santa visits and swims around the tank and talks to kids. It's an awesome thing, and something different from the normal stuff around here. This event happened a week before Christmas 2019. So when Santa comes to the aquarium to swim with the sharks, he brings his elves with him to help talk to the children. I was one of these elves this year. My first year and maybe my only year because of this single woman. So we were doing our normal thing and I was on mic talking to kids and translating child speak for Santa to hear. Keep in mind he's in the tank and we use special microphones and earpieces so everyone can communicate and it's projected in the room. In between children, my manager comes up and explains that there's a young boy. He's mute and he just wants a picture. I'm like, yeah, sure, anything. I was honestly just happy to be there and making a buck more than my normal pay. So we get to the young boy. He's like 9 and just stared as I directed him and his mom to Scuba Santa. Mom takes the mic and talks to Santa. Hi Santa, this is Boy. He doesn't say much, so is it okay if we could get a picture? Of course. And he then poses for the picture. I'm standing off to the side out of the way of the picture, checking the time, as we had to get Santa a break. Air tanks only hold so much air. As I'm getting ready to call the dive team to get the new tank ready, there's a pop in my earpiece. I look up to the microphone and Boy is holding it. Mom steps back towards me and we all just watch. At this point, there's a small line forming, but we weren't worried about it. This was going to be the last child before the 5-minute break.
Santa, hi. For Christmas, I want a truck.
The entire room goes silent, and Mom starts crying before looking and explaining that he hasn't spoken over 6 months. So I let him ramble to Santa for a bit. Most is lost because it was rambling, but Boy was loving it, and no one in line seemed to mind. It really was a Christmas miracle of some sorts. Enter the entitled woman. She was in her 30s with her friends wanting a picture with Santa. Whatever, I didn't care. Boy finished his babble and went to say goodbye. This woman yells over the crowd, "If he isn't gonna say real words, get him off the mic." My other elf friend was going to confront her as I was mic'd in, and whatever I would say would have been everywhere. But before they could get to her, Santa's voice comes over the speakers. Now, fun fact about this particular Santa is that he was a no-nonsense kind of guy in the first place. And in this instant, he became my best friend. Why don't you shut your pipe? Ho ho ho. Now, because he hears this means she said it loud enough for my mic to pick it up and project it across the room. She was so red, but stayed in line, and Santa finishes with the boy. I start my signal to Santa to let him know that he needs to go up for a new tank. Santa, Mrs. Claus has some new cookies she wants you to try. Now, folks, Santa will be back after a short milk and cookie break. Normally, people agree and it's no big deal. We play games with the kids, sing a couple songs, and before you know it, Santa's back. But today, this woman was not having it. Oh, come on, you have a whole line here and he's just leaving? He'll be right back, I promise. And then I go into a song. This woman threw a fit, screaming, cursing us out, making a real scene, and I had left my mic on. But while the song was playing, it wasn't projecting her, but Santa could still hear her screaming. Eventually he came back and finally got to her in line. I reluctantly let her go up and I step out of the way for a picture after she told me that if I was anywhere near the picture, she would have my head. I had security on standby and they were ready to walk her out because I don't want to deal with that crap, not in my aquarium. And the best thing ever happened.
Now, hold on there. Are you the woman who yelled at the little boy?
Silence, like no one moved.
And threw a fit when I had to go try Mrs. Claus's new cookie recipe?
She just sat there staring at him.
I'll have you know that makes you #1 on the naughty list. We need to be compassionate and nice to others. My elves here are just doing what I've instructed them to do and you're yelling at them. That's not in the spirit of the holidays. You need to apologize to everyone you've been mean to, and then go to the end of the line and wait again. Until that is done, I'm not taking a picture with a naughty person.
I was hyped. This woman was a jerk. She ended up storming away screaming for a manager. I believe she found one, but was escorted out with no picture. Boy got to meet Santa out of the tank and got a super special picture with him and all his elves. He's a regular at the aquarium and likes to show us new words he's learned. It's amazing, and the diver is my favorite dude forever and always. What kind of grown woman is gonna make this much of a fuss trying to see Santa Claus? It's funny. With all those kids around, she's the only one acting like a spoiled brat. Sorry, lady, people need to take breaks sometimes. And if Santa's having a special moment with a kid, you don't get to just butt in and shout out. That's not your call to make. That's up to Santa and the elves. If they want to give the kid a couple extra minutes, that's their call. You getting all worked up and upset like that is just embarrassing, and I'm glad Santa called you out. This woman needed a little bit of public humiliation. Unfortunately, it sounds like it didn't really have the effect it should have. The funniest part is after making all that fuss, she still didn't get her picture. Guess she'll just have to take a trip to the mall. A foreign exchange student was bullying my sister, so I got her sent back to her own country. My sister was bullied relentlessly in high school for something she had literally zero control over, a certain part of her anatomy. Without going into details, she felt terrible about it, and it more or less ruined her life as an insecure 15-year-old girl. The girl responsible for most of the cruel bullying, and the one who gave her a particularly cruel nickname related to her physical issue, was called Nadia. Nadia was a foreign exchange student at our school. Nadia was beautiful, and she was cruel, and she didn't give a crap about anyone but herself. I wasn't Miss Popularity myself, but I had to protect my sister from having her life ruined, and I felt a very strong urge to get back at her tormentors. They say to kill a dragon with many heads, you gotta cut off the main head. So that's what I did. I learned that the father of Nadia was very conservative. Her whole family back home was. So I started spreading rumors about her being very promiscuous, and ensured these rumors reached the family she was staying with. This apparently caused her some trouble, but I wasn't done. I threw a party one night when my parents were gone. I invited Nadia, who gladly came as I was a cooler older girl somehow, and she never said no to a chance to get hammered. Because yes, there was a lot of liquor. I made sure of that. Took pictures of everyone drinking and having fun. That same night, when everyone left, I put it on my Facebook. I tagged Nadia on it as she was my Facebook friend. She had this option turned on where everything she's tagged in is automatically allowed on her timeline. So a picture of her stupidly drunk and very skimpily dressed made its way onto her page. Because of it being in the middle of the night, she must not have noticed until the next day in the morning. So it stayed on for hours. But due to her parents' time zone being vastly different, I was sure they would see it before she had a chance to take it down. They did. I wasn't there to see the fallout, obviously, but she was gone the next week from school and flown back to her home country. Apparently, her parents had to save her from being corrupted or something. So she was gone, and my sister, safe from ridicule. As word of my involvement spread, and let's just say people didn't really want to mess with her after seeing how far I was willing to go to protect my little sister. Wow, you had this all planned out and everything apparently. We don't have the details of what her sister was being bullied for, but regardless, you shouldn't be bullied for something that you have no control over. I completely understand our original poster's need to want to lash out at this girl, if it was having this big of an impact on her sister's life. We all know how high school kids can get, and what kind of world that is. I'm sure it really sucked for her sister to have to go through that. I will say, this is pretty extreme in terms of getting revenge. We don't know what Nadia's life was like back in her home country, and we may have just sent her to a pretty crappy
Evan Turing said. Is that StarCraft?
We require more minerals. 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 Spawn more robots. We require more minerals. 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 Our allies are in combat. Spawn more. Metamorphosis complete. We must place that on a Vespine geyser. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. We require more minerals. Metamorphosis complete. Not enough energy. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Spawn more overlords. Mineral field depleted. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Metamorphosis complete. Mineral not enough energy. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. The hive cluster is under attack. Our allies are in combat. agent.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. Bad news.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. Big job. Go ahead.
Additional supplies required. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. What's going on? Huh? In the rear with the SCV ready. Go. SCV ready. What's good? Ah! SCV ready. SCV ready. Bad news.
Command center upgrade complete.
Big job, huh? Big job, huh? Go, go, go! Sure thing.
Additional supply depots required.
Of course. This better be good.
Our allies are being
Want a
attacked.
piece of me, boy? SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. Ah! You scared me! In the rear with the gear. SCV ready. Bad news. SCV ready.
Add-on insufficient. Best be gas.
Go ahead. job. SCV ready. Huh? Roger.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
Reporting for action.
Insufficient.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals. Our allies are being attacked. Our allies' base is under attack.
Ah, Commander. Flight plan is locked.
Our allies are being attacked.
Initiating. Perfect. Course set. Full speed. Easy.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Liberation is at hand. Reporting for action.
Our allies are being attacked. Upgrade complete. Our allies' base is under attack.
What's going on? Ready to plunder.
Got freedom? Need something
Ready to plunder.
liberated? Initiating.
Can't hold
Not
them
enough
alone.
minerals.
Transformation systems primed.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Of course.
Our allies are being attacked. Our allies' base is under attack.
Ready to plunder.
Our allies are being attacked.
Can't hold them alone.
All hands to battle stations.
Our allies are being attacked. Our allies' base is under attack.
Ready for war. I like it.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Our allies are being attacked. Our SCVs are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Our allies' base is under attack. Our allies are being attacked.
Ready to plunder.
Moving into position.
Let's get into the fight. Can't hold them alone. No one lives.
Our allies are being attacked. Base is under attack.
Can't hold them alone.
Mineral field depleted.
I like it.
Our SCV is under attack. Our allies' base is under attack.
Standing by.
Our allies are being attacked.
Transformation.
Incoming orders.
Mineral field depleted. Base is under attack. Our allies are being attacked.
Can't hold them alone.
Our allies are being attacked.
Bad news.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
Bad news.
Our allies are
SCV
being
ready.
attacked. Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
Bad news. In the rear with the gear. SCV ready.
Our allies are
SCV
being
ready.
attacked.
Reporting for action. Course set. Flight plan is locked.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. The gear. SCV ready.
Incoming orders. Initiating.
SCV ready.
Attention.
SCV ready.
Our Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
As you say.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready. What's going
Our
on?
allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
Liberation is at hand. Course set. Easy. As you say.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready. SCV ready. Yeah, big job, huh? SCV ready.
Upgrade complete.
SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready. Yep. Yeah, I can't build here. I'm going.
Our allies are being attacked.
Need something
Command center upgrade complete.
Big job, huh? Bad news? What's going on? Yeah.
Research.
SCV ready.
Command center upgrade complete.
How can we help? Course set.
Our allies are being attacked.
Ready to blunder. SCV ready. Bad news? Huh? I'm going. Go ahead. In the rear with the gear. SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
Let's get into the fight.
We have you on screen.
SCV ready.
How can we help?
Ready to blunder.
Attention!
Our allies are being attacked.
Got freedom?
SCV ready. Go ahead.
Upgrade complete. Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
Our allies' base is under attack. Our allies are being attacked.
Standing by.
Ready to blunder.
Add-on complete. Our allies are being attacked.
Of course. As you say. Initiating. Perfect. Of course.
Our allies are being attacked.
You ready for war? Inbound.
Need something
Can't hold them alone.
Our allies are being attacked. Our allies are being attacked.
We read you. Got freedom? Moving into position. How can we help?
Our allies are being attacked. Mineral field depleted.
Ready to blunder. You ready for war?
Yes, sir. Easy.
Add-on complete.
Can't hold them alone. All right.
Our allies are being attacked.
Got
Our allies are being attacked.
Fight Flight. Yeah, right. Inbound. Ha ha! Certainly. All right.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
No one lives forever.
Additional supply. Mineral field depleted.
In the rear with the gear. Yep.
Vespine geyser exhausted. Our allies are being attacked.
Made for.
Got freedom?
Vespine geyser exhausted.
Who called in the fleet?
Our allies are being attacked.
Ben! Ah! You scared me!
It's a trap!
Our allies are being attacked.
Will do.
Big job, huh? Yep.
Our allies are being attacked.
Move it!
Our allies are being attacked. Our allies' base is under attack. Our allies are being attacked. Our allies are being attacked. Our allies' base is under attack.
Who called in the fleet?
Our allies are being attacked.
Who called in?
Our allies are being attacked. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
Huh?
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Upgrade complete.
Ah! You scared me!
Research complete. Upgrade complete. Our allies are being attacked. Command center upgrade complete.
It's a trap! Course laid.
Our allies is under attack.
Can't hold them alone.
Our allies are being attacked.
Yes, Commander.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Go ahead.
Our SCVs are under attack. Our allies are being attacked.
Big job, huh? Sure thing.
Our allies are being attacked. Not enough energy. Our allies are being attacked.
The course. Full speed.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
being attacked. Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
What is...
Mineral field. Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready.
We require more minerals. 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 Spawn more overlords. Spawn more overlords. We require more minerals. more minerals. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. Not enough energy. Metamorphosis complete. Our allies are in combat. Now to spawn more overlords. Now to spawn more overlords. We require more minerals. Not enough. We require more minerals. We require not enough energy. Mineral field depleted. We require more minerals. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Our allies' base is threatened. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. We require more minerals. We require more minerals. Our allies are in combat. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Not enough energy. Metamorph. The hive cluster is under attack. Our forces are under attack. Spawn more overlords. Spawn more of the hive cluster is under attack. Mineral field depleted. We require more Vespine gas. We require more minerals. Our allies are in combat. depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mutation complete. Our allies are in combat. We require more Vespene gas. Mineral field depleted. Not enough energy. Mineral field depleted. Not enough energy. Metamorphosis complete. Our allies' base is threatened. Mutation. Our allies are in combat. Mutation complete. Our allies are in combat. Depleted. Our forces are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Mineral field depleted. Our allies' base is threatened. Our allies are in combat. Allies' base is threatened. Our forces are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Our allies' base is threatened. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are in mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Mutation complete. Mineral field depleted. Mutation complete. Mineral field depleted. We require more minerals. 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 Spawn more overlords. Spawn more overlords. Spawn more overlords. We require more minerals. Spawn more overlords. We require more. Our allies are in combat. We require more minerals. Our allies are in combat. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. minerals. Our allies need inheritance. Our drones are under attack. Our forces are under attack. Not enough energy. 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 Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Not enough energy. Our allies are in combat. Spawn more overlords. Spawn more overlords. Our allies are in combat. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Unacceptable command. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Mineral field. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. We require metamorphosis complete. Not enough energy. Mineral field. Mutation complete. field depleted. Not enough energy. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. We require more missing gas. Unacceptable. Not allies are in combat. We require mineral field depleted. Our allies are in combat. Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack. Our allies are in combat. Metamorphosis complete. Mineral mutation complete. Our allies are in combat. Our forces are under attack. Our allies are in combat. Are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Our allies' base is threatened. Our allies are in combat. Mutation. Our allies are in combat. 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 Mutation. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Mineral field depleted.